Good morning, everybody. This next video is going to be an actual scenario that we work on a regular basis in order to hone our canine and our canine handler skills when dealing with high fines. Now, this next scenario is a perfect example of what I outline in one of my books, Canine Trailing the Straightest Path. This has happened to me many times in the past on real cases, and a couple times I really got duped and lost my subject, even though I was really close to them. So this is a great training video. Digest it, take a look at it, regurgitate it, use it in your own way. I hope you get a lot out of it. When you take a look at the map that's later on in the middle of the video, the trail layer is yellow. The dog handler and the dog are in red.
Okay, you're starting to run out, huh? Okay, so we have blown scent all the way over here. You got a little bit of scent right there, but it's going to be over. So we need to find where the connection is over here. Okay. Stay behind your dog.
Directly across from the handler and the dog, and slightly to the top left of the film, is where our subject is hiding on top of a very tall dump truck, probably about 15 feet off the ground. The wind is not in our face here. It's not coming to this direction. The wind is actually to our left, and you'll be able to see on the map what it's doing. But for whatever reason, the way the wind is swirling and the way it is moving on high, it's depositing the scent in this location. And you can see how furiously she's working this. This is all fresh windblown odor, and this trumps all other odor, especially older track odor. She doesn't want to leave this because this is where the subject is in her mind. See on the map the general wind flow. It's literally heading from north to south, but where our alert is occurring is actually over to the east. This is where the dog's picking up all this fresh odor, and the dog has no interest in the track because the fresh odor is where, in the dog's mind, the suspect must be. She doesn't quite know how to work out this problem. It's a big issue on real cases. This is actually how I lost one of my first fines early on in my career with my first bloodhound. The subject was up on a 3-story balcony in an apartment complex, and I was in a field below him. My dog was alerting, but I never figured it out.
Okay, it's going to be ending again, I think. Right? What do you think happened?
I think it blew over here.
You're probably right. So what do we need to do if she can't find it? Okay, good. What she's doing is she's circling wider and wider to find where it crosses.
Yeah.
And she keeps missing it because it's so windy. She's doing a really good job though. You can see everywhere she has the edge of scent. I mean, this is actually very nice work. Let her have the leash now. The same place every time.
Yeah, what we are doing then is in the tree go back to the place where you are certain that the scent is.
And this is one of those places. Right here. This is really nice work. I mean, even though that may not be the track, I love how she's just getting little bits of odor. So again, you're getting into the blown issue here. So, and you notice how she keeps staying right here, right? So maybe it might be a little bit further this way. Wait, watch. That's poop. Get her off of that. See the tail? A little bit further up, a little bit more, and let her have the leash. Watch. Oh, you just got a little air scent. You just got another one right there too. Just got another one right there too. He may have to go with that. That's all air scent right there. Okay, it's careful now. Remember, she's starting to look back at you. Whenever that happens, that tells you something, right? All air scent. And if you look, big scent pocket all the way around here. You're getting right back into it again one more time. So, where was the last time you actually had a trail? Was there a trail here, or was this air scent too?
The trail was out there on the road.
Okay, well let's get back there then. You just got another air scent right here. Look at that. Right here. Big time.
Yeah.
So this is all air scent. She's doing great, and this you know, any dog is going to default to the air scent every time. You can't blame her for it. So, do you think the trail is on this side of the road or the other side of the road? Now that you've seen her work this edge.
I know it's really blowing back this way, but I just have to see it both sides.
Watch your body language. You take your time with this. Watch.
So now we're going to take a look at this scenario from a slightly different perspective. This is from the trail layer's perspective. He's watching and filming us coming in. You're going to see some great air scent behavior. We're literally right on top of where the track was or had been, but the dog's not really showing a lot of reaction to it, mainly because it's getting fresh swirling wind. The dog doesn't have a scent cone to work into, otherwise she'd probably be charging through the fence. She has a general idea of where the scent's coming from, but she can't locate exactly how to get to it. That's why she's cruising back and forth in front of this fence. We're doing our absolute best, and Greg is really doing his absolute best to allow his dog Saga to try to work this out on her own, but she just does not understand how to get into this. There's no direct scent cone to charge into, but she also has this barrier she needs to deal with. She doesn't understand that there's a gate entrance to the left. There has to come a time when these things happen that the handler gets involved and tries to get the dog into an area of productive source of scent. So that's ultimately what Greg does here. He knows she's not going to be able to figure it out, so he works it out on his own to get to that gated entrance to see if perhaps we can get that scent cone or perhaps the trail. So this is actually a really cool part of the video because the wind is not in the dog's favor anymore, and you're going to see her pick up the exact track of where Wesley came in through the gate. Really beautiful trailing tracking behavior. The air scent's no longer available for her to follow, so she has to default to what she can to find the subject. What's beautiful about this is how the dog is really never forgetting what she's looking for and extremely interested in finding our subject. We didn't see in this video is the many people that have been down and across this road. There's a parking lot very near to us with people walking in and about their vehicles. So she stayed very focused on the person we're looking for. She never once gave up or forgot. But it was a very, very difficult scenario for her to work because of the wind-blown odor. So let's talk about why this happens. When a subject is up high in an elevated location, tree, or in our case, on top of a dump truck, the scent is going to blow out in the predominant direction that the wind is going, in a horizontal direction. It usually doesn't drop straight down. And this is because in the middle of the day, we have a lot of things going on, in particular thermals, and you have heat radiating off the ground. So the scent is going to stay high, blow out far, and then drop low in a different location. It's usually going to be related to the wind, but sometimes not. Oftentimes at these elevated positions, we're going to get a lot of swirling taking place. The wind will go out in the general direction that the wind is going, but then move to a slightly different location because of either barriers or shifting wind patterns. This is a perfect example in this picture. We're using blue smoke to simulate a high find. In this case, the smoke is coming from on high about 200 yards away and then depositing itself right here in the middle of the road. Now, when a dog gets this type of scent, this is proximity scent in a very, very high form. The dog, up until this point, has been following older ground odor. Now it detects fresh scent that's just landing in a spot right here. It's almost like ghost scent because there's no way the dog can work into it. There's not a cone that they can move into, and the track is no longer very important in their mind because they have fresh odor right in this place. The diagram that I have next, that you're going to see here in just a second, comes from my book, Canine Trailing the Straightest Path. This is kind of a good simulation of what we're dealing with here. Scent coming on high, depositing in a fresh spot somewhere out in the middle of the location, perhaps in the middle of the trail or away from the trail, and the dog's attracted to it. They don't want to leave this spot because in their mind, that's where the subject is. That is this video, that's this scenario exactly. Now, I hope you enjoyed this scenario and this little training that we did here. I think you can find a lot more types of situations like this if you really look back on some of the trainings that you've done in the past. If you're really interested in my training style, some of the things that I like to train for, make sure to take a look at my books. I've got Canine Trailing the Straightest Path, which is a primer on how to build and work a trailing dog. My next book, The Tao of Trailing, is going to be an advanced book on trailing techniques that we use once you get into working real cases. And there is a solution to these problems. There's a way to work it, and I think it's very, very important that you do it in an expedited and timely fashion. But at the same time, do it in such a way that it's self-discovery for the dog. There's only so much guiding we want to do here. It's a dangerous situation between allowing the dog to work the problem and allowing the dog to get distracted. Where is that fine line? When do we get involved?